So again, we're being asked to simplify a rational expression. The expressions are getting more and more complicated, but the process itself is essentially the same. The first step is to factor completely the numerator and denominator. So I'm not going to rewrite what we have here, but we have the rational expression 2x squared minus 12xy plus 18y squared over 3x squared minus 27y squared. So let's start by, let's begin factoring the numerator. So we have, is there a greatest common factor? Yes, there is. There's a greatest common factor of 2 in the coefficients, 2, 12, and 18. So we'll factor out the 2. There is no common factor among all of the terms besides 2, so we're done factoring out a greatest common factor. That leaves us with x squared minus 6xy plus 9y squared. With our denominator, we have a greatest common factor of 3. 3 and 27 both share a factor of 3, so that leaves us with, in parentheses, x squared minus 9y squared. And now we need to look at our special products. We need to look at our techniques for factoring. And again, if you need to go back and review the sections on factoring, please do so. They are important in this and many other concepts and applications that we look at through this course and subsequent courses. So it's really important that you get down how to factor before moving on from there. Now we have a trinomial in our numerator. So let's look at the nature of the trinomial. If we have x squared minus 6xy plus 9y squared, well, if you'll notice, this is a perfect square. It's x squared. This is a perfect square because it's 3y quantity squared. And then is this middle term, does it equal, is it a perfect square trinomial? Does this middle term equal 2ab, minus 2ab in this case? We have a is x, b is 3y, so 2 times a, which is x, times 3y, that does equal 6xy. So that means that we can factor this as a perfect square trinomial. That means that we have, remember, just to refresh your memory, if we have a squared minus 2ab plus b squared, that factors to a minus b squared. So this will factor to x minus 3y squared. So now we can write that as our numerator, 2, or what's in parentheses in our numerator, 2 times x minus 3y, and I'm going to write out the factors individually, times x minus 3y. Now if we look at our denominator, what's in parentheses? We have x squared minus 9y squared. Well, that's a perfect square. It's just x squared. This, again, is a perfect square. It's 3y quantity squared. And if you remember, when we have a difference of squares, if we have a squared minus b squared, that equals a minus b times a plus b. So then this is going to be x minus 3y times x plus 3y. So then our denominator becomes 3 times x minus 3y times x plus 3y. Now we cancel common factors in the numerator and denominator, and we're left with 2 times x minus 3y over 3 times x plus 3y. And as it noted in the lesson online, technically we should set any of the factors in the denominator equal to 0 and solve for x. When we have two variables, that makes it a little bit more complicated, but we're not being asked to do that right now. We're just simplifying. Technically, though, I'm going to go ahead and write this because of that. Technically, we should at least say, since there's two variables involved, it makes it a little bit more complicated, but we should at least say x plus 3y can't equal 0, and x minus 3y can't equal 0, because those were the two factors that we had in the denominator. You could also solve for x, so x can't equal negative 3y and x can't equal 3y, or you could simply say, simplifying that, x can't equal plus or minus 3y.